It's a warm September day, and I'm going to do my tour de force, my sales from pre-market to opening escrow video series. We're going to try to do 2 to 3 minute videos on each section of this list. And then at the website at winnerscheck.com/videos, we'll flush them out with longer videos. But the first part of this list, we're going to do the pre-market considerations. We're going to talk about why you should pre-disclose and go over the forms and how you can get them. We're going to talk about how to price your home like an expert with 3 or 4 different prices, your max dollar price, your fair market value, and your starting offer price. And then if you're working with a realtor, why your listing price in these days in a seller's market where everyone's got information, I'm not so sure you should be pricing at the market or below, as every realtor suggests right now. I think you're hurting yourself, especially with strong buyers. We'll talk about in that part of the video series. And then the third part is pre-inspected, pre-repaired, if you can afford it, pre-disclosed, we already did pre-disclosed, decluttering, staging, and what repairs you should make. And a lot of those answers will depend on the market context that we've determined when we've decided, when you've gone over with us how to price your home like an expert. So in section 2, after you've done those things, then you've got to decide, are you seeking top dollar? Are you seeking top net, or both? And how much work you're willing to do versus how much you just want to put it in the hands of the agent and get it done. And I think before you can make those considerations, you've got to consider your marketing model. Are you going to go work with a discounter? Are you going to work with someone who discounts the listing commission, or someone who's discounting how much they're paying buyer's agents? When it's a good time to consider those different models. We're going to talk about, and we've already done videos on this, Rex, Zillow, Redfin, HomeBay. We're going to compare them with traditional agent models. We're going to talk about when it's a good idea to go discount, when it's a good idea to go full service. And then we're going to talk about optimizing it. Then we're going to talk about that choice. And we're going to talk about putting it all together and sequencing it if you're predisposed to sequencing and trying to do your best. Or if you just want to say, hey, I'm done with it, we're putting it in a realtor's hands. We're going to go over all that in that model. Then third, once you've determined what you want to do, we're going to talk about how to optimize each part of that model. I break it down into we start with the third, traditional full-service realtor, paying realtors. I believe you should actually pay them a little bit more than what's traditional for your area. So if everyone's paying in your price range in your area, if they're paying 2.5 to the seller's agents, I talk about why the listing agent should take a little hit and they should be paying the buyer's agent more, especially if they're going to double-side it anyway. Why would they be against it? Why would a listing agent be against that model? We'll talk about why it's good and why you should maintain maximum flexibility and keep that as an option, so you can get out of your contract in 24-hour notice, or say 30 days with the discounters. And so that's always the out. That's plan B. We'll talk about how to make plan B even better by being ready to refer out to a full service lister and saving a little bit on commissions. And then we'll go back and we'll go to the first and second part of the analysis. One would be the do-it-yourself analysis. Give it a shot, do the marketing a realtor has to do, see if you get people to your open house. If you get 10 or 15 people, you'll probably get offers. What you should do with those offers. We talk about that. That's sort of the first part of the sequence. And then there's the middle part where it's a hybrid of those methods. We will talk about that in this series. If you want to subscribe to it, again, just go to winnerscheck.com/videos and you're going to see it. I'm going to try to go through all these videos today in 2 to 3 minutes, but it's already getting a little warm. Then finally, after you've determined all that stuff, we're going to talk about how to market your home. We're going to talk about Facebook and their audiences and how it's big data is what's selling the home today. We're going to talk about YouTube, and we're going to talk about Facebook search marketing. Google search marketing and Bing, and how you can do all this for $7 to $10 a day during a marketing period with or without your realtor. You should be making your realtors do this, by the way. And we're going to talk about local marketing and why sometimes your strongest buyers come from local marketing. Again, that's signs, that's Craigslist, that is maybe postcards in the neighborhood. And we're going to talk about why sometimes that's where the strongest buyers are found, because your neighbors know people motivated to live in your area. But some people opt not to do that because they don't want their neighbors to know they're selling until it's sold. I understand that. We're going to talk about, after that, we're going to have one video about how to negotiate multiple offers. I was selected by the California Association of Realtors to train realtors on multiple offer negotiations. And let me just say that you don't necessarily want to use the forums, and you don't want to use the 2 favorite ways realtors do it. I'll talk about how to do it better, and it'll just make perfect sense to you. Let me just say, it's better to have your strongest buyers go last in the multiple offer negotiations, but give those buyers that want to come in, some buyers want to negotiate, but once they feel like negotiating, they turn into strong buyers. And as long as they're self-aware, that's what they're doing, they shouldn't mind being involved in the negotiation process. So I show you how to have buyers negotiate against each other while preserving your strongest potential buyers on the side if you have them. And of course, in the marketing methods I suggest, you will have them. All of that in the video series. Again, go to winnerscheck.com/videos to just make sure you're going to get subscribed, to make sure you see them, even the ones that flush it out. Otherwise, just stay tuned, and we're going to start with the pre-market considerations video next. All right, thanks. Talk to you later. John McConnin. I'm a real estate attorney and a broker in California.